Right, we've got a podcast. I've been told I've got to be a bit more upbeat. Giller's put a complaint in, but we'll start with a downer first. It's Saturday afternoon and no cricket. There's
Yeah.
nothing worse, is there?
No, I don't think there is anything worse, to be honest. I'm just at a loose end,
I know, we don't know what to do.
and I've done well today. I haven't purchased any alcohol. Usually that's my go-to when the game's off, but
You had a coffee and
yeah, coffee, about 2 Lucozade, so I'm buzzing
yeah,
here at the minute.
very good.
Yeah,
And we're
with a
we're
week,
under pressure
and
a
I
bit
did
today.
actually just win the darts
Oh
competition
yeah,
there, so
you beat Callum Stewart
still
in the
had
final.
that bit of competitive,
Yeah, yeah,
stuff. But
bit of
I'd
pressure.
much rather be out there,
I know.
you know.
We would much rather be out there too.
hmm
We're under a bit of pressure today because we're doing this in front of a live audience.
Yeah,
Um, John McCormick's gonna
Sir McCormick's.
is watching us,
We're under Big P here. Big
telling us what
P,
we should.
he'll
Yeah,
be ridiculing us after.
yeah, he did definitely. He should have said that. He should have said this. So,
hmm
anyway, we'll deal with that.
We're used to that, though.
So I know you said you didn't particularly want to. This is your first podcast in a long time, isn't it?
It is. I've just such a hectic life, Dave,
I
during the
know,
cricket season. So,
I know.
it's good to be back on. You've
Lots of
done a
games
good
as well
job.
got in the way.
It's been
Yeah.
busy,
hmm
really busy. It's incredible to think that it's only another 6 weeks and we're into another long winter. Not
I
that
know.
they put it downer on everyone.
I know.
Just flies in.
This is bad enough. In another 6 or 7 months
I
of
know.
nothing.
We don't seem to get a real long spell of good weather. I think this is only our second game maybe that's been hit by the weather, but we just don't seem to be able to get a good stretch of 2 3 weeks of good
Yeah.
weather.
I
We
mean,
did
you've not.
last year at the start,
Yeah, and then it got a
and
disaster,
then it
didn't it?
was horrendous. But the ground's in good shape. The outfield's looking well, and the wicket, brand new wicket for today. But yeah, the forecast was always looking bad, and it never seemed to change. Although it's not rain there at the minute, it looks like it's coming in again there. So it just would have
Mm.
been a day of waiting and waiting
Yeah,
and waiting, and nobody wants to do that either.
and that obviously against civil service today, wasn't it? So
Yeah, straight to T20 now.
could have done sort of on a run of good
hmm
wins in the league,
hmm
which we'll talk about.
hmm
You could have done with playing them really because you're on a.
Yeah. Listen, we're six wins in a row, league and cup all
Mhm.
together. So it's been a super run. 5 of them at home.
Yeah,
So it's like everything. Winning's a habit. Losing's also a habit as well. But we're just on a real good roll at the minute, and
yeah,
we're starting to click with regards batting and bowling in the
yeah.
same game. Last
Mhm.
weekend, the both matches are batting and our bowling clicked.
Mhm.
There's quite a few bowlers and batsmen putting their hands up. It's not just we don't have one or two superstars,
Yeah.
winning games for us. But we've got good, solid cricketers throughout the team, and
Mhm.
and obviously Jason and Ben have been super there with the
Yeah.
bat recently, and a lot of guys chipping in the middle and lower order
Mm.
as well. So it's been an all-round team performance, which makes it really pleasing for me
So everything's looking rosy in the garden then, really.
at the minute.
Yeah.
If you'd have said to me, would have been third and then a senior cup final.
Yeah.
Obviously our pro was ended up going home after 3 games, so to do it without a pro as well,
Yeah.
it's just so pleasing.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, what we thought we'd do today is go because I don't think we've actually spoken to you since the season started,
No.
really, have we? So is go through your league games that you've played since the start of the season and sort of maybe a brief sort of talk through about each game, what happened,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So I think Jonesy, you're all set to go with this, Jonesy, are you?
Yep.
Um, obviously the first game against Cliftonville
Yep.
there. I remember that day. It was a nice day actually.
It was a lovely day,
Yeah.
lovely sunny day, and yeah, the wicket. There'd been quite a bit of rain, obviously early season. The groundsman had struggled, so the wicket was quite slow and soft. Took a long
Yeah.
turn. The outfield was quite soft. So if you just go up the score there, Jonesy again. Yeah, so Cliftonville batted first and got 142. I thought we bowled very well.
Yeah.
They restricted them that, and I know if you go down to our innings, Jonesy, we started off with a couple. I think must have been 20 odd for three, and then
Yeah.
Jason, as you can
Chasing
see,
them.
along with Jamie there, they
Jamie
put
McGee,
on
yeah.
over 100 and seen us home in 29, nearly 30 overs.
If I
So
remember rightly, Sam McGee had a bit of a game in that as well, didn't he?
Sam got 3 wickets in
Yeah.
that. He bowled brilliantly. He was a bit
Yeah.
nervous first over, and I was standing at mid off, and I just sort of told him to relax and just enjoy it. There was no
Yeah.
pressure on him, and obviously Satish bowled well, and Raj bowled well, and Curtis was very economical. So Van der Merwe only got 3 overs then, but
Oh, I thought you took 3 wickets then. It's actually 3 wides.
no,
Oh, so-
no, I still wasn't. I was still.
Oh
It
yeah,
took
your
me about
arm.
three,
Yeah.
4 games to
Yeah.
get my shoulder right again after
Mm.
the cortisone injections. So, but again, that just shows you as well. That game, it was a team effort, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then obviously the first league game was supposed to be Warringstown. It was called off, so it ended up at T20. So that was our next game.
Right.
Yeah, and it was quite a poor showing
Yeah.
at Moylina here.
They looked stronger, Warrenstown in that game, didn't they? Just
Well, listen, I've said it. You
yeah.
know, I think they probably had a couple of boys missing that night, but they still they had Sam Topping missing actually. Big Humey was back. Like Humey had got um what do you call the
Barber is in.
Baba Azam out
Yeah.
a couple of days previous, you know, and he's rocking up, and Tom May's there. You know, they have a to me
Yeah,
they're
I
way
know.
out in their own
Yeah,
little
yeah,
league when
yeah.
they're a full team, you know.
See,
So
Carden got a 50 that game, so
yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, so yeah, disappointment. I think the heads were down
Yeah,
a
listen,
bit.
heads weren't really down to be honest.
Mhm.
You know, coming up from Section 1, you know, you're playing against the likes of Warringstown again. It's just great to be playing against them.
Yeah, yeah.
You wanna compete and try and nick wins against them, but you're not expected. You're going in as massive underdogs.
Yeah.
20 over game, you
Mhm.
know, anything can happen. But yeah, it didn't make our heads go down at all. I think the next game in the league, then this was the weekend that really could have put the downer on us. You know, winning
Yeah,
Stonehenge
that's a
Saturday.
funny game. That I was there for most of that, and
Hmm.
to as a supporter and a observer of the match, I was disappointed the way that game went. I thought it was in the bag. Should have been in the bag. In fairness, Gillis, shouldn't it?
Do you know
Really?
what? You know, it was a good wicket.
Yeah.
It was actually a nice sunny day. The
Mhm.
outfield's always lightning up there, so they're
Yeah.
restricting to 236.
Mhm.
I thought we'd done a good job, but the batting was poor. The batting was really poor that day.
Yeah.
Boys got starts. Kylan got a start and played quite a poor shot. Ewan got a start. Ben got a start. And then Jay, you know, if you look at our from McGowan down, it was horrendous.
Mhm.
All guys that can bat, and that have now come to the party, obviously. But
Mhm.
yeah, that's one that we're really kicking ourselves. Someone just had to stay with Jay that day, and would
Yeah.
have won comfortably.
Mhm.
Um, but again, then we turned up at Carrick on the Sunday.
Mhm.
And that was, you know, if you're looking at games there, you know, you're looking at teams in and around you. They're the two teams there that you know, massive weekend.
Yeah.
Um, went up there. They got 188. They were just over game. It was quite a
Mhm.
cold, wet, murky day.
Mhm.
They got 188 off 40 on a good wicket.
Mhm.
Small ground. We thought we're quite happy with it, to be honest. Um, yeah, I think Pavan got he got Sam Gordon that day with Jaffa. Uh, who else got, Jay got a couple of wickets. Um, yeah, so the bowling was quite good that day. And then I think we lost a few early wickets again. You know, I think we are maybe 20 for 2 or 3 again.
Mhm.
And Jay didn't get runs that day. And again, the lower order, I got a few Joes there. But yeah, that was so. After that game,
Again, as someone who was watching the game, I was sort of like a bit disappointed. Sort of, I'm not saying sort of rolled over, but it just you kind of wondered where you kind. I got the feeling halfway through your innings, I had a feeling that it was one of those ones that just going to get beat here, and I can see it
yeah,
happening. It was just, um, but you had a reset after that, didn't you? Have a sort of maybe a team meeting or
it would
something,
have been
didn't you?
easy for
Yeah,
us after
yeah,
that weekend to sort of have our heads down and
hmm
you know, even that night we've got fines after every game, and
yeah,
we all had a couple of beers at Carrick and went down to the changing room and had our fines, and we remained upbeat. And
yeah, mhm,
I think we all decided that, look, put it behind us,
yeah,
move on.
hmm
Nothing could be change it now, you
yeah.
know. And thankfully, you know, after that weekend, we did. You
Just
know,
yeah,
we kept our heads up and we
kick
kept.
up the arse you needed, maybe. Yeah,
Yeah,
uh-huh.
it probably was. It probably worked out well,
Yeah,
you know.
hmm
And then you think, if you'd have won them 2 games, where would you be in the league? And
yeah, yeah,
so F spots and maybes, but look,
yeah.
you can't turn back time. And I think overall, it helped us as a team reset and sort of realize that, hold on a minute here, we're not just going to turn up. You know, we're going to have
Just
to fight for
hmm
every single win, and we're going to
hmm
have to work even harder at practice.
hmm
And as I say, that weekend probably did work in our favour in the end.
So then we go on to the next one, which is against North Down.
Yeah, so this is where it all changed.
Yeah.
You know, again, home advantage. It's no secret that, you know, North Down are used to batting on the M2. Really,
Yeah.
it's like a road and small boundaries, straight. The outfield's like a sheet of paper.
Mm.
So again, we restricted them 188. The boys bowled really well. And again, at half time, we know they're a decent bowling unit.
Yeah.
The big pros bowl really well for them. Big
Mhm.
Daisy, Shieldsy, they're a decent bowling unit. But I was absolutely delighted. This is the win that changed our season. Gleggy came in.
Yes.
Again, Ian got injured playing for the second, so
Yeah.
Gleggy came in. And what our thinking was to maybe strengthen our middle order a bit.
Yeah.
So Jay's always 4, but we thought move Ben from 3 to 5 to
Yeah.
strengthen that middle order.
Mm.
And to be honest, it's worked an absolute treat.
Yeah.
Although Ben didn't get runs in this game, I think overall it's just worked for the team. It's working for Ben now. He's getting 50s there, a couple of 50s last weekend.
I mean, Mark's really brought sort of like a bit of steeliness to the team, isn't he? He's
Mark will tell you himself. Mark
Yeah.
hasn't got all the new shots because Mark
Mm.
hadn't played the game in so
Yeah.
long. He was away playing for Great Britain and Ireland and whatever else, and he's had a great hockey career. But he's come back now, and I think getting that 59 that day just showed him that he's more than capable.
Oh, yeah.
And he works really hard on it, and it's probably give Mark the competitiveness that he's missed from not playing hockey.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's great to have in the changing room.
Yeah.
He's done really well with the bat with us. He was in there at 3, steadies the whole thing up.
Yeah, definitely.
And then it means then that Jay and Ben hopefully then can come in,
Relax a bit.
with still 30 odd
Yeah.
overs, and a bit more freedom, and they're not in it 10 for 2 or whatever,
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, it's worked great, and that win there, again I think we were 115 for 6.
Mhm.
And I think North Down had their hump up.
Yeah.
He thought the game was probably over, but me and Luke Allen put on over 70, and uh, we weren't really in any danger at all.
I mean, Luke Allen coming in at that number, you think if you're playing against Muckamore, you think you've got down to that minute, the game's over.
Yeah,
And you get sort of like yourself and Luke coming in. I mean, still, Luke's quality.
I think a lot of guys too don't know Luke,
Yeah,
in the Premier League. So
yeah.
this is probably Luke's maiden season. I know he's played a wee bit in the Premier League, but a lot of guys don't know.
Yeah.
And that innings there was special. That was a real good gritty knock, which Luke has. Luke has a bit of grit about him, but.
Yeah.
The only disappointment really was I said to him with 4 runs needed,
Mm.
let's just be the guy that me and him to walk off with our bats, and he wanted to win it with a 6. But listen, all in all, that really did turn our season around. That North Down game,
Yeah, definitely. So we'll move on to the next one, which is going to be against CIYMS.
Well,
yeah,
the famous game. This game's definitely up there as one of the best.
Definitely.
That I've been involved in. I've been involved in some cracker
think
games for Muckamore.
John McCormick probably thinks that too. I would imagine that he's.
Yeah. I think so. All the critics' corner over there, where I think there was about 8 or 9 of them.
I know.
I think they were like myself. They were sitting down and they were probably thinking this is over.
Yeah.
And once it got to 20 runs, they all stood bar John. They started to get nervous. I couldn't barely watch.
Well, so I was called away on a job and then went home, switched the MVP or the YouTube on, thinking it would all be over, and couldn't believe what I was watching. And then, as it's getting closer to the score, even though I live close to the ground, I was like, I can't leave. I've got to watch this, because if I jump in the car and get down, it might all be over.
Yeah.
So yeah, fantastic.
Oh, listen, the thing, 88 for 8.
Right, so we're back. We've had a rain break. We had to put the shutters up because it started pouring with rain. So bang goes our theory of maybe being able to play today. I think we'd have been on and
I
off.
feel a bit better now, calling it off.
And we've got more of a live audience now because we've got club president Ivor McMeekin.
We're under serious pressure.
We're under
now.
serious. We've got
4 eyes on us here
McMeekin
now.
and McCormick, probably the 2 worst guys to sort of
With our very own critics' corner in the beer garden here.
watching. So where were we? We're talking
So
about
basically, the CI game. So 88 for 8. I think everyone on the ground were resigned to the fact, because we knew Kurt was crippled.
That's right. He had a bad back.
But Hendo went in. A lot of people forget about Hendo's knock at 24 off 31, 3 4s and a 6.
Yeah.
He went in. He probably thought the game was over, but he went in just with freedom.
Yeah.
The ball was up. He hit it.
Nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose, and his knock was superb. He was raging at getting out after hitting the pro for 4. Pro bowled him a slower ball and he spun one up. But And then Kurt, then the walk out to the wicket with Jay.
Yeah.
Jay as runner. Fair play to Jay for getting padded up and going out.
Mhm.
That sort of
I mean, to put it
helped
in
us as well.
perspective a little bit, if people didn't see it on the MV Play live stream, and you've gone to the YouTube and watch it, it's fair to say Curtis walked out there, and if he didn't have his cricket bat, he wouldn't have been able to walk at all. It
No,
was,
listen, he was using his bat to. His
yes,
words to me were like, Giller was using my bat to.
as a
And then
walking
he
stick.
said, Jay sort of hit him a bit of a tap in the back, and it sort of loosened him up again.
Yeah,
But then the pro came around the wicket and pulled him a bouncer,
yeah,
and he went to duck it, hit him here, and he says after that he sort of it all went tight again. He
yeah.
was all sort of.
Sore.
So you can see him on the camera. He had a black strap on over
Yeah.
his thing and that. So look, he was. Do you know the thing was? I think he had a few strong tablets in him. It's safe
Yeah.
to say, which sort of helped him through it. But having Jason out with Pav and him,
Yeah.
talking between balls, between overs, and
Overs,
stuff,
yeah.
it was unbelievable. And as I said to you, once they got it down to the 20 odd runs,
We've got a bit of a. We can have a look at the replay of
Yeah.
part of it, I think. So,
he looked in no trouble.
yeah,
There were, he edged one through slips when we needed 4 to win. Look,
yeah,
that ball was thrown up and he was able to bang it straight through covers. This is the end of the match, and if you've your volume up when you're watching this, the noise of
yeah, yeah.
the whole ground. Obviously, Pav throws his helmet off and hits the stumps, and it was just.
Yeah.
Aye,
It was a great day at Molina, wasn't it? To be honest with you?
that will live
yeah.
long in the memory.
Mhm.
That game, it'll live long, long in the memory. It was
Mhm.
just incredible. Just the whole circumstances around it. It was.
I mean,
really,
CI must have not known what the hell was going on, did it really?
No, that would have hurt CI. There's no
Yeah.
doubt about that. I know it
Mhm.
hurt Big Alan Coulter.
Mhm.
He came into the showers and
Yeah.
he wasn't too happy. He was doing a lot of chirping and
Yeah, there was a lot of
again, there
verbals
was a lot
going
of
on, wasn't
a
there?
lot of verbals
Yeah.
I'm sure he was like ourselves. He thought it was over once it got all the big boys out and that, But
Mhm. You
listen,
notice as the overs were going by, they were getting quieter and quieter,
Yeah.
and just
they'd run out
you
of
know.
ideas, really. As I say, like Kurt and Pav weren't in any problems at all. They showed the top order and the middle order how to
Mhm.
bat, really.
Yeah.
But
I know, it's good.
that was great now.
I mean, at no point did they think they weren't going to win the game, even with with five runs or whatever to go. You still think
Mm-hmm.
if you're CI,
We
you're
won
going
it.
to
We
win
won it
it.
with by 2.5 overs to
Yeah.
spare. So
Mhm.
run rate was never going to be
No.
the problem.
So anyway, so that was that was the game of the season so far, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we just we'll move on to the next one, which was against Woodvale. So again,
Yes.
at this point, I think they were
They were top of the league with 1 defeat.
Ruhan going like a train.
Ruhan and the pro then starting
Yeah.
to come to the party as well. Yeah, I'm sure Woodville are absolutely delighted with how their seasons went so
Mhm.
far. It's great to see ourselves and Woodville both doing well.
Yeah.
Probably if you're looking at the league, they're maybe looking at ourselves and Woodville and Carrick and boys like that to be
To be
the whipping boys. But
Mhm.
no, listen, it's great to see them up there.
Mhm.
This is another really good, solid display.
Mhm.
They batted first and got 213.
Mhm.
Game Pav with 3 wickets, Satish with 3 wickets, Hendo bowled well, Van Merv bowled rightly as well, and Sam McGee threw the ball to Sam McGee, and Kurt was injured. Kurt's obviously
right,
back from the previous week,
Yep, that's
so
right.
he had to
Yep.
take a break. Sam came in and done brilliantly, as he
Mhm.
always does for me.
Every time Sam plays, he seems to be on the
He's one of them players. You
always
throw the
doing
ball to, he
something.
makes something
Yeah,
happen.
yeah.
And he can bat and he can field. He's a good
Mhm.
all round cricketer. And arguably, he's probably been hard done by it. He hasn't had a longer run the first. It's just with Mark coming in and taking his place
Yeah.
there. Everyone else chipping in every week there. I just can't seem.
Yeah,
to,
there's no one not performing
No, no, and,
Yeah.
But Sam knows he'll get his chance, no
Mhm.
doubt about it. So yeah, with the bat again, Kylan got a start. And Kylan knows himself. He should be converting them 20s into big scores.
Yeah.
He's a classy batsman, and just needs to. He'll come out the other side, and Kylan will get a big one.
I see
one of these
Jason's
days.
chipped in with 44 and bending again with 42 again.
Yeah, so if you look at the middle order there, you
Yeah.
can see 44, 42, 28, 24, 15 not out.
Mhm.
It was again a real team effort, no standout,
No.
but a real team effort on it. Again, a hard wicket at Molina. ball wasn't really coming on.
And Eddie must have been happy with his 3 wickets there, I guess.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of wickets there.
Yeah.
He's going well. He's a good all round cricketer, you
Yeah,
know.
definitely. It's always good to see him playing over, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Mhm.
Especially when we beat them.
I know, it's even better.
It's a bit of crack. But yeah, listen, that was another good win, and I think if you're adding in cups, that probably made it four on the bounce in a row. So you know, with real momentum there now. And just as I say, just getting into that habit, everyone knowing the rules, and the bowling unit to me have turned up, all barring maybe a couple of T20 games. They've been absolutely superb. With no one that runs in and bowls 80, 85 mile an hour, but our spinners have been outstanding, and our three seamers have been really good. And as I say, we're restricting teams to, and nowadays to 200.
Yeah, the runs per over for the bowlers has been good.
Great. You know, our economy rate's really good. So yeah, really all round good team performance.
So at this
again.
point of the season, you're more than happy, kind of thing, aren't you? You've got
After beating Woodville, who
Yeah.
were top of the league, again, and the spirit in the team, the spirit in the club's just great. You know, once you get a few wins, you know, every game's so important in the Premier League. You know, at this stage, we're still not guaranteed top six.
No.
Obviously,
But that's what, in fairness, your first was just survive Premier League, and then you wanted to then you sort of like moved it up to top 6 in the split, you know, and that's the next, you know, the next sort of target you've set yourself, isn't it, in the team? So we'll go on to the next game. So the
oh well, this is
so just to sort of put it in perspective a little bit. So the Woodvale game was probably one of the best games to be seen over here for a while, and I would argue that
CI game.
CI game, sorry. And then you've got the Lisbon game.
This shouldn't have been anywhere near a tight game.
But you're talking about people like me and John McCormick and the other
Ivor
supporters.
was following on the MV and couldn't believe it as well. So
watch you buck Egypt's fly, like, you know, and
try captaining it and being to blame for a run out.
But it's, you know, we got there, you know, to sort of, I won't sort of, you know, I'll let you carry on and sort of explain.
Again, Dave, look, a very good Lisburn side, arguably probably the second best side in the league behind Warringstown, in my opinion. Quite a good few top cricketers, you know, and they started off really well. Pavin went for a few early on, you know, uncharacteristically, but listen, we all have a day like that. I brought Kurt on. I just thought spin against Big Weighty. And luckily enough, second ball, he got out because he's the type of guy who can score you 50 in no time. And he got off. So getting him was good. We have Big Jonesy in there, who's still a top cricketer. We just bowled really well. The spinners, the seamers, everyone that got the ball, you can see by the figures there, you know, done a great job. But standout for me was just incredible. Shane Henderson didn't get a bowl on Saturday. I explained to him, you know, it's not easy, you know, you want to contribute, and Hendo's no different. And just Saturday, the way it panned out, I didn't need Hendo, but on Sunday,
you did.
I did need him, and in fairness to him, he was thrown in the deep end because he was bowling with a short boundary, and I needed overs from him. And I didn't really plan to bowl him 8 overs, but he got Nigel Jones, he got James
Well, you
Hunter.
couldn't take him off, could you?
Listen, he was just class. He had the bowl a wee bit wider with the shorts, so the boys couldn't. And to get 5 wickets, just shows you what our team's about, really. You know, one day he didn't get a ball, and the next he's got 5 wickets, and that's just our team.
24 hours later, like.
You know, that is our team. And
I was always worried because it seemed to me through the season up until this point, when you had double headers, a game on a Saturday and Saturday, the team didn't always turn up on a Sunday, you know, to play, and I was a bit worried about that. It's an important game for us, and and I'm thinking, I hope these guys sort of like get their stuff together and play and make a good game of it. And you did, and you know,
another thing about that game, you know, we'll talk about the Senior Cup after, but the day previous, we'd just got in their first, we'd won the semi-final Senior Cup and got in their first Senior Cup final in 52 years, so it would have been easy for the boys to enjoy the night.
Foot off the gas,
and obviously Lisburn were the same. They beat Estonians again in the Senior Cup, so they were the same as us with a couple of pints and went home, and we kept their party on the Sunday night. But yeah, listen, absolutely brilliant bowling effort. They're strict. They were probably looking 280 at a stage, 260 to 280, which would have been a real hard chase up there. but to keep them to 2-14 was
Yeah, and I'm looking
outstanding.
at the scorecard here. I'm thinking, obviously, Kylan and Sats didn't get off to a great start, but you know, you get Mark and Jason in, and then Ben Callitz, and then arguably, I think the person that could have maybe sort of like really won you the game there in some respects was Luke Allen with his 37. You know, spectacular innings just when you needed it. Got
Again, partnerships, Dave.
yeah,
You know,
certainly,
it's
yeah,
as much
yeah,
as you know, it
yeah,
is. You need
uh-huh,
partnerships with the bowlers too. But
definitely.
if you look at the
Hmm.
scorecard there, obviously Sats and Kylan out early,
Yeah,
48, 37,
yeah.
51, 37, 12. You know,
Leggy was
partnerships.
set for a good innings as well. If it wasn't for that unbelievable catch,
I said to him, I
yeah,
honestly thought he'd have got a ton there.
yeah,
If
it was a wonderful catch.
man,
Probably
it
the
was a
best
great
catch I've
catch.
seen for a while, actually.
Great catch. But
Uh-huh.
you know, Jason batted well, 37 off 43. Ben was superb,
Oh, so
51 off
brilliant. Yeah,
73. Luke was that was
especially
a
his 6 over cover there was it was
yeah,
just
Luke got a day. But
yeah.
what I really liked, Dave, was the running between the wickets.
Right.
The run was stole so many singles, and I love that. You
Until you
know,
came in, obviously.
nah, until I run Curtis out. I know. Wasn't going to mention that
No, well,
again.
I was.
I know. But
But
yeah, the running between the wickets is so important, you know, just keep the scoreboard ticking. You know, we were never ever again in any run rate pressure. It was
yeah,
always going to be wickets.
wickets, yeah,
So just keeping turning the good ball into
yeah.
single. There's nothing as frustrating as a captain
Mhm,
or a bowler
mhm.
when that happens. And we thought we'd done that really well in the game. We put away the bad ball. So it was just again with the bowling and the batting, it was an all round good, solid team
Mhm,
performance.
mhm.
You know, and what a weekend! Probably I've had some unbelievable weekends for this club, but
Right up there.
I would say it's right up there. I
Mhm.
don't know if it's, don't know, like the time I went down and won the National Cup at Dublin and stuff like that. We've had some unbelievable weekends, but
Yeah.
that there is definitely in the top two
Mhm,
or three anyway.
mhm. No,
Unbelievable.
it was fantastic, yeah.
hmm I've had a
So
great night on Sunday night in here.
I know.
We sort of enjoyed the whole
I
weekend.
saw the videos, yeah.
It was great. A lot of singing going on just as we're sitting here. There was a lot of
So
singing.
it'd been nice to talk about this civil service game today, but obviously we can't because it's raining. So we'll go on to the next big thing at the moment, which is wonderful, is we'll talk about the Challenge Cup.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's been unbelievable. You know, it probably still hasn't fully sunk in.
no.
Probably a Thursday before the cup final. A
So
lot of
just to
us will not
get this
release it.
right, the club hasn't been at a final Challenge Cup final for 50
52.
to 52 years, boys.
52.
52 years, yeah.
And do you know what makes it even? You know, at the start of the season, with it being our 150th anniversary,
Yeah.
you know, I think I done an interview at the start of the season.
You
And
said, yeah.
survival
Hmm.
was key. That's our priority. But getting the senior cup final,
Yeah.
would just be a dream of mine. Like, you know,
So as it stands at the moment, you've got your Senior
yeah,
Cup final and you're
yeah.
sitting third in the league. So, you
It's
know,
been unbelievable. And
yeah,
what's pleasing about the senior cup, we've had a real hard run of games to get
yeah,
to the final. Um, but starting at CI away, obviously,
yeah,
a good CI side. We went up and restricted them to 171 and got it with three. Where's our scorecard there? 3 wickets down, Jonesy.
yeah.
If you just pop our scorecard up, how many overs did it take us to get it? Yeah, we got it in 33.3 overs, so it was a real convincing win.
Yeah, that's when, you know, Satish really Sats really sort of come to sort of
Mhm.
get with the bat for the club, didn't he? He sort of,
That was the day. That was the day. I remember
mm,
Sats was under a bit of pressure with the bat.
yeah,
Sats had been coming in sort of 6-7,
mm,
and he'll tell you himself he was quite poor coming in,
mm.
just having to go at times, maybe having to settle the ship. And I just thought to myself,
Well, I know John McCormick thought, I know I did when I was actually doing a wedding that day and I had
well, I know
my
what
phone
John
on.
said to me coming
I,
off.
I thought Sats at three, what's going on?
Yeah, he
There's
seen
something
the
going
red
on.
helmet coming out in three, and he was a bit shocked. But one of them decisions it took, and it could have backfired, and it could have
Aye,
looked silly, but that was the catalyst, really. Ben was unavailable that day.
yeah,
So again, he filled in at three, and well, the scorecard says it all, 78 off 91 balls.
yeah,
Obviously, Kylan was super that day with a 50 as well.
yeah,
Again, would have loved to seen Kylan get on and get a biggie, which I know he has it in him. Jay came in and got a quick fire 26 and Gleggy. The two ex-CI boys finishing it off there. So
yeah,
real good start to our senior cup campaign. You
yeah,
know, a real hard away tie at CM. We went up and outplayed them really and
yeah.
fully deserved the win.
Yeah, probably not favourites either for that match at all, really. What do you
No,
think?
no,
No,
no, no.
no, no.
We're going in the most games
Yeah.
underdogs, Dave,
Mhm.
which is great. I love it.
So we'll go on to the next one, which is
This is another really good game,
yeah,
another entertaining game for the home
mhm,
faithful at Moylena. Good crowd down, and you know it was reduced again, rain
yeah,
affected,
rain
so it was
affected.
30,
Yeah.
31 overs in the end to get
Yeah.
186. I was delighted at half time, and I know
Mhm.
sort of was comfortable with our bowling attack that
Mhm.
that would be enough. But they've got some top players in their team.
Well, they didn't make it easy. I mean, this was it was the game was almost over, wasn't it? And
Mm.
then they had a couple of stands, didn't they, at the end? And I think everyone,
Again, if you go back,
yeah,
Jonesy, to our scorecard, just to touch on it, again, 39, 37, 31, 25, 19. Again, I like emphasizing on that
yeah,
it's, although, yes, I'd love someone to get a big ton
yeah,
and that will happen, but again, everyone contributing,
uh-huh,
which is great. And boys arguably should have kicked on, but again, Satish again backed up with 78
yeah,
with in the previous round with 39 up at the top. I
mhm,
moved him up to open the bat and moved Ben to 5. That's when we moved Ben to 5 and Gleggy to 3.
yeah,
Gleggy with 37, Jay with 31. So yeah, at half time, I'm sitting sort of thinking, yeah, we need to obviously get a few early wickets,
yeah,
but I know just the way our bowling was clicking that would have been enough. But as you say,
yeah.
Jordan Neal with 50 was dropped a couple of times, hits the ball really well
I think
straight.
James West was the problem for you that day, wasn't he? He was hitting
Yeah,
some great stuff, wasn't
listen, they've got 4 or 5
he?
young cricketers there
Yeah,
that are proper cricketers, and arguably a lot of them will go on and play for
mhm,
Ireland.
mm.
And James West came in when the game was.
It was over, wasn't it?
Once we get James Kennedy and Lecky,
Yeah,
we were sort of confident that was
that
it.
was
But
it.
fair play to him, with 35 off 24 and made it really interesting in the
Yeah, it
end.
certainly did for us watching.
Yeah, so you could see again if you watch it back our celebrations when Satish got James West out.
Yeah.
Actually, it was the
Oh,
last
yeah, he just went mad.
caught
Yeah,
by Pav down here
yeah,
in front of the crowd. So
yeah.
that was another really good day. And I knew probably civil service always look at the Senior Cup as one of their. They
Mhm,
have a good record in it, so I know that probably hurt them that day. So
mhm.
absolutely delighted with that one.
Brilliant. So we're going to. This is a good win. A good, good. This is a semi-final.
This is it.
Yep, and
Yep.
this is, this is a good team with a good win.
Honestly,
You
that
know,
was just
yeah.
again 238 uh, on a slow wicket at
Mhm,
Muckamore. I was delayed at half
mhm.
time. Satish was 33. Jay was brilliant, 73. Ben was brilliant, 56. And then look, getting 26 not out. Yeah, thought that was a really competitive score out there.
Yeah, yeah.
And again, with the way our bowling's been, at every faith that
Mhm.
we could get the win. And then yeah, getting I got 3 wickets up top there. Getting Ruham was obviously you
Yeah,
could see
no, yeah,
I went off on a bit of a run there. I was a wee
yes,
bit excited with
yeah,
that one.
yeah. Let's have a look at that, shall we?
Yeah,
I think you just got to that for.
you'll see me
There you
coming
go.
around near the score hook.
Yeah,
I sort of once you get
there
Ruham
you
very
go. There you're
very
coming
little,
back again then. Should put
you
the
have to
Benny Hill
you have to
music on
enjoy the
there, I
big
think.
wickets, boys.
Yeah,
So yeah, and then Ludwig Keisner got 53, was
yeah,
dropped, but we'll not talk about that. Uh, and then Jamie took a cracking catch off Jay. I sort of knew then that that's the favourites for us now.
yeah. Yeah, Jamie was a
Yeah.
bit. He had a bit of a mare
He was
that day,
relieved
wasn't
there. You can see a relief in him.
he? Yeah,
Everyone. Jamie's been unbelievable with the gloves, and
yeah,
everyone's going to have a bit of an off day now and again. You can't do it every week, so
yeah.
thankfully it never cost us, and we still to bowl them out for 168 and win it comfortably in the end.
Yeah. Mhm.
Just
So it sets us up for the big day on the Friday, the 2nd
of August,
of
yep,
August.
yeah.
You
No,
know,
it's going to
I
be
think
great.
that uh, the buzz around the club is unbelievable.
Mhm.
There's coaches getting booked and minibuses and pre-match breakfasts and
Yeah, just on that,
ties. Hmm.
we've ordered ties today, funny
Yeah,
enough.
ties and
Yeah, you have to mark the occasion and enjoy it as best
definitely.
you can. So we're going all out. We're going up for, thanks to our sponsors, Kingfisher. We're going up there for breakfast, the players, and
That's at the
um,
the the
the
Hilton.
Hilton, yeah,
Yeah.
Temple Patrick.
Hmm.
So thanks to them.
Yeah. Thanks, Josh.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then yeah, there's going to be a supporters bus just on that. There will be a poster going up
Yeah.
today on our socials.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones, the doctor here, he's the one that if you want to go, you get
Yeah.
you book with him. So
Have you got a price yet for the the thing?
Yeah, it's all booked, isn't it?
£10 ahead,
£10
down to Stormont and back again in the evening.
You couldn't
Right.
beat that.
No, you can't be that.
Leaving at 9:45, Doctor.
Leaving 9:45 and back
Yeah.
after the match. Yeah.
Yeah, so if
Right.
everyone could be here 9:30 just to make sure they're on the
And
bus
then
and good to go then.
a win, lose or draw party at the club
Yeah,
afterwards.
we've got a late night in here on Friday night, so
Mm.
yeah, I'd love all supporters and all
Yeah,
the
yeah.
players and officials to come back and just really enjoy
Yeah.
the night, you know, and hopefully.
Well, it really is a club. I'm sure these two. It really is a club event and a club moment for everybody, especially in the 150th year.
Yeah,
You know, it's something you set out. You know, it was a big ask,
yeah,
and you've done it. So
Yeah.
I think the club's in a good position to
mhm.
bring as many people as we can down to hopefully watch you win. You know,
No, that's
cup.
it. It's
Yeah.
it's these occasions are talked about for years to come. You know, arguably you know, John and that and Ivor would still talk about the senior cups that the club have been involved in. You know, we're making history here. You know,
Uh-huh.
we'll be sitting where we whiskey 20, 30 years talking about the day, you know, the senior cup final and stuff. So listen, we want to go all out and win it now.
Yeah.
You know, it's great getting the final, but
Well, you beat
we
the
wanna
team
go for
that you're playing last week, so
Yeah,
there's no
yeah.
reason. It's all on the day, you know.
It's on the
Yourself.
day, yeah. It's a huge occasion.
Yeah.
It's a big occasion for Lisbon as well. I know it's been a while from they've won it. So
Yeah.
listen, both clubs will be going on out and hopefully put on a good show for all the
Yeah, that's all you want is a good game
supporters, you
of
know.
cricket.
It's
Yeah.
a good game of cricket and hopefully may the best team win,
Yeah.
as they say.
So sort of marks out of 10 for your season so far, do you think?
Ah,
Are
Dave,
you going to go for 10?
9.
9.
9, yeah. As I say, if it would have beat Estonians and Carrick, you know.
You've been sitting top.
But with 6 league games left, you know, if you win all 6, you win the league, you know.
Yeah.
There's no reason why we can't, you
No,
know.
no.
But listen, this time of year, we're sitting middle of July, we're third in the league. You know, we're guaranteed to be playing Premier League next year, which
Yeah.
is what we set out
I
to
mean,
do.
you know, you can start preparing for next year
Yeah,
almost, can't
yeah,
you? Sort of looking at
yeah.
your team and
hmm
all the rest of it, you know.
And
So
then obviously to get the Senior Cup final,
yeah, it's just magical.
it's just incredible. You know, I'm in cloud nine. All the boys are buzzing and the club's buzzing, and long may it last. We just need to keep winning.
Brilliant.
hmm
But listen, well done.
Thank you.
I think most of the, you know, on behalf of everyone at the club, it's just fantastic that you've given us such a sort of a bit of a roller coaster, but now it's sort of like a
Mhm.
you know a really good sort of like end to almost to the end of the season with the cup final and the league. We're all looking forward to the
Mhm.
rest of the season
Mhm.
just to see what happens. And I know I'm happy with the season so far. It's just been brilliant.
Yeah.
Every game's had its ups and downs, but you know we've had more ups and downs now so far. So there's no there's no reason why you can't go ahead and win this Challenge Cup final on the 2nd. You've got
Mhm.
the team to do it. It's a good team.
Yeah.
You know, you all play well and a bit of luck. You know, the trophy's
Mhm.
ours. Like, but
Mhm.
listen, well done, mate. You've done a brilliant job.
Cheers.
Anything else you wanted to talk
No,
about?
I just want to wish the seconds the best of luck tomorrow. They're in the
Mhm.
plate Ulster plate semi final, home to
Mhm.
North Down. So they got beaten the final last year up at
That's right.
Donamana, so they'll be wanting to
Yeah,
put that right. So best of luck to them, and hopefully
the
the
weather.
weather turns and we
Yeah,
can get a good game of cricket down and
get a bit
get
of
a
a
bit of
crowd
support
down.
down to
Mhm.
support them tomorrow.
Mhm.
12 o'clock start. Aaron, is it?
11 start.
11 start tomorrow.
Ooh,
So yeah, get down and support the boys and hopefully
yeah,
get to another final. It'll be great.
be great. All right, mate. Well, thanks a lot, and I'll
Cheers.
see you soon.
Yep. Thank you. Well, welcome back to part 2 of this podcast, and you'll notice a different presenter. We've relieved Dave Pettard of his duties there. So I've got the president, Ivor McMeekin. Welcome, Ivor, and John McCormick, our long-standing. He's been many a thing, chairman, president, club captain. Good to have you, boys.
Thanks, Neil.
Obviously our 150th anniversary. So just wanted to talk all things Muckamore Cricket Club, and obviously you'll see a picture there of the anniversary book that we presented to the local mayor, Neil Kelly. So boys, on the cricketing front, how do you think things are going so far as a whole for the club? Men, youth, ladies.
Well, it's interesting. The first 11 captains scored them 9 out of 10. There's a wee bit of work to do yet, Neil. We'll give you 9 out of 10 whenever you win it, and then see where you get
I'll
the
take
rest of
that.
the season. But it's
Yeah.
been absolutely amazing, fantastic effort. by you and the team. But as president, I would just like to draw attention to the fact there's another team in the club. It's a very, very hard-working committee. There's an awful lot of work that's on behind the scenes, hopefully to promote and help you guys get to the level that you're playing at. And I'd just like to thank all of the committee for their hard work.
Yeah.
It's easy to criticise in clubs, but we need volunteers. And we are blessed in this club with people who come forward and spend an enormous amount of time and energy promoting the club. They're not playing, but they're putting so much in. And it's great to see the results on the field. So well done, Neil. You've definitely earned your 9 so far.
Thank you very much. John, what about you?
I think it's just wonderful. You know, I'm sitting looking out at a very rainy Mylene here, and 80 years I've been kicking around this club, and I've never seen a performance and as good a team. I think the first 11 team currently is, and even look at the second 11 team, and I look down that, and the potential that's in that team is quite something. So we're fortunate. We're in a good place. We could always look for some more help in terms of the committee, and some more volunteers and people who would step up and take some roles in the club. You know, that's very important. But overall, the club's in a really, really good position, and particularly the first team. I mean, that Premier League is a pretty tough league to be in, and to get to where we are and not play. All other teams are professional, and we don't have one. So what has been achieved and what has been done by just the lads themselves, and all credit to them, and to you, Neil, as well. I mean, to pull that all together is a remarkable performance.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. It's as Ivor said, you know, it's definitely, I'm sure, arguably the best committee we've had, and we've had some good committees over the years. We see it firsthand sitting on committee. I know Jonesy as well sees it there, and Jonesy puts in a hell of a lot of work. So thank you, Jonesy, as well. Everyone puts their hand up. It's a bit like the first cricket team at the minute. You know, everyone's putting there. It's a real team effort. There's some hard working people on it, and as you say, we wouldn't be where we are without it. You know, if you look throughout the club, the thirds are up against it in a really good league. You know, the thirds are playing against second 11s, some Premier League second 11s. It was always going to be tough, but you know, there's still a chance to turn it around and hopefully stay up in Junior 2. The fours, I think we're no different from any other club. We've got 6 teams, but you know, getting, you know, availability with exams and now holidays during July, it's just tricky for all clubs. We're no different. But yeah, obviously the Bluebells are celebrating their 10th anniversary from when they started, and they've come a long way.
Yeah, I mean, they've contributed so much to the club. Yeah, 10 years, that seems to have flown by, and they've achieved a lot in that 10 years. And it's great to see so many young girls, ladies. I'm not quite sure what terminology is the correct one to use, but we have a group of young potential Bluebells coming through there to build on, and they're struggling a little bit at the moment. Any team would have losing a player of the quality of Amy, but there's signs of hope there for the future to build on.
Yeah. John, what's your thoughts on the?
I think it's good as well. You know, I think there's always this whole chit chat about coaching, and people not only in the Bluebells but right the way down through the club, and coaching is very important, and it's we have to get that right. You know, in the schools is a big issue for us as well. I don't think we're doing that very well, and we haven't done it very well. And we have to stand up and say that. You know. So we need to work on that. We need to get that right. But there's no substitute for playing cricket. We can coach till you're blue in the, and it doesn't bring club a lot forward. Playing games, playing more competitive games. To me, that's the most important. And the youth teams need to be playing regularly. You know, the Graham Cup is very important for the under-15s. I know Dave and the boys struggled with under-15s this year to try and put a team together, and those are the areas for me that we need to really address a bit more. You know, I think that the top end of the club is going so well. But we do have some flaws further down the club that we need to plug those holes.
Yeah, and as you know, Ivor said it well. We're always looking volunteers. We're always looking people to stand up. You know, it is easy to criticize and stuff, but we'd be more than happy for people to come forward and put their name in the hat
Yeah,
to you
of
know
course.
to take on roles within the club. We're like any other club thing, as you say. Things are going well up the club, but you know, we're not doing things perfectly. We've got struggles down the club like any other club. So we're always looking to improve and always looking to do one better. I think it's important, obviously, to mention the work that Glenn Martin does in Park Hall. Um, I remember when I was in fourth year and Glenn came in, and it was me and him that started the team, and it's been a lifesaver for the cricket club. You know, if it wasn't for Glenn Martin, I wouldn't like to think where Muckamore Cricket Club would be. We've had so many players come out of the school, and his enthusiasm is just incredible, and I just think he's done an unbelievable job.
Yeah, we need to help those people a lot more. I know we do our best, and Dave goes into the schools and does a tremendous job in there. But I think we need to get those structures right, and have those boys that are the next team, that next group of boys that come through to go on to take you to the next cup final. Speaking of the cup final, by the way, I don't know whether I've said it or not, but for me, it's just a wonderful achievement, and I'm happy I'm still here to be able to see it and to be part of it. It's brilliant,
Yeah,
brilliant, brilliant.
yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ivor, what's your thoughts on Glenn Martin and the job he's
Well, I
done?
mean, you nailed it,
Mhm,
really. That
mhm.
he's been a shining beacon, and feeding this club over the years. We've work to do. There's no doubt about that. But you think the number of kids Glenn has steered and promoted
Yeah,
and helped the club develop, it's been outstanding.
yeah. No, without a doubt. And you touched on it there. Dave's come in there for 2 years and worked hard and went into schools and done a good job and got the numbers back up again. It's big well done to Dave as well. You know, it's a thankless task. He does it voluntary. You know, and I think he's done superb. And I think Dave will say himself that now we need to move it on to the next level now. So yeah, we're looking to do that, you know.
And we,
Um,
we have a lot more to do in the club as well ourselves, to promote the club
Yeah.
a bit better. This is quite a big town, and if you look at the size of the town and look at the people that are around, and if you consider the number of people from Antrim, for example, who are associated with this club now, it's very, very few. And as somebody has said to me recently, so many people in Antrim don't even know where this club is, and yet we're 2 miles from the town of Antrim. So we as an organisation, as a club, we have a job to do as well. There isn't a tradition in cricket. It's not like England where everybody knows about cricket, follows cricket at schools. One of the biggest criticisms I have is actually the schools themselves. I mean, I buy the Cricketer magazine every year, and I see all the schools advertising for people to go to it. And one of the first things they talk about is the facilities, the sporting facilities, and the sporting facilities in schools in England, and it's just fantastic compared to what the top schools. And we have top schools here who don't have those facilities. It's pathetic, and if you don't have that to begin with, and sport seems to me to be a very, very low priority in the whole world of education. And so the education people have a lot to answer for as well, to step up a bit more and take it a bit more seriously, and not just our sport, I mean sport in general.
mhm.
I mean, if you look at the grounds that we have around here, in the school grounds that are lying empty and
Yeah.
not being used, they don't even play sport in it. I
Yeah.
mean, that's ridiculous in my view. And those are the sort of areas that we
Yeah.
all need to look at.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
not a lot we can do about it, but
Mhm.
we can cajole, we can push our MPs or whatever it may be to pay a bit more attention to this sort of thing.
Yeah. No, I
Neil,
totally agree.
yeah, sorry, Neil. Just to maybe pull it back to the cup final, but this is obviously a huge occasion for the club. I'm just going to ask John here that I remember as a young teenager along with Lossie walking along to Ormo Park to see John in his heyday. Well, maybe not his heyday, but on his way up and winning that cup in '63, and it coming back to the village and what it meant to that community. It's obviously a much bigger community now. John, would you like to sort of give us a little flavour of that
Yes.
occasion and just to inspire Neil here?
Yes, well, it was a huge occasion. You know, a little bit of background to it. We all started off in the late 1950s when the team here was a team of what might be called old men, who were very sociable cricket players. But if you look at some of the old photographs, you'll see the age of the players that were in the team, and there were the committee of which comprised in those days of my father and James Ross. That was it. Made a decision that they were going to bring on a lot of young guys. We were all war babies and all born in the war. They were all boys, and there was 5 or 6 of us, so we all came into the team at one time. So we went from the late 50s right through, moving up from the qualifying league into the top league. And in '62, I think it was, yeah, '62, we got into the final against Lisburn, and we were beaten in very bad weather conditions. But we were beaten in that very well. But there was a fierce determination in the boys that were around, the Archie McQuilkins, Jimmy Reid, and Walter Chambers. And Walter was a young man. He took the helm, and Walter was a very good organizer, well drilled. Well, you know, he got the team together and he got the pavilion. And I think you have it as well. If you have a good pavilion, you have a good team. And we had a good pavilion, so we all stuck together as a group. You know, no superstars, no professionals, no anything, and we fought hard and got through. But it was a momentous occasion. You know, getting to the final in '62. We were only up in the Premier League about 3 years at this stage, and then in '63 going ahead and winning it. And so for the village and for the village was completely different. It was a very everybody in the village followed the cricket and came down here on a Saturday afternoon. But that was their weekend, was their lives. It's completely different now than in those days. But for the village, it was a huge thing. You know, it was like winning the FA Cup. You know, for any of the big teams, it was massive. And we had a big support from the village and from the village people. So that meant everything, and it meant a lot. And it was the beginning of a 10, 12-year period where we played Premier League cricket, and we took on them all. We ended up winning the Premier League, joint top of it in 1970. And then in '74 we were back in the cup again. So we mixed it with all the big boys. Yet we were just a bunch of lads from the village who never really had a lot of coaching, never really had a lot of mentors. We just played cricket and we lived with cricket. We spent our whole time, our whole summers, everything down. This was it, down here, day after day after day, playing cricket. When you get fed up with cricket, you went and played tennis, and if you get fed up with that, you took a football out and started to kick a football around. But it was like a community centre, and that was important. You know, all of that engenders that whole loyalty, that whole thing that maybe isn't. I'm talking about the old village now, isn't about anymore, but in those days it was. So it was important for us as a group of people, but it was important for everybody else who were supporting us and helping us and that sort of thing. You know, so it was good.
Incredible.
Great time. It was a great time. That was a good team, you know, and we stuck together as a group of boys for 10 years. It was the same 10, 11, 12 boys, and then Ivor and his squad, and Lawsy and Hugh Law and Terry Jackson and Victor Mahan and Big Davy Campbell and all those boys started to push their way in the middle of all that, and some people were falling off. And then in '74, when we got into the final, which is always a warning to everybody, I think, was we got into the final of the cup. Oh, sorry, '72. Got into the final of the cup in '74. We were still playing. We were relegated. in our centenary year. So that was the centenary year of Muckamore Cricket Club, and that same year we were relegated, and it took something like 15 years after that to get back up into the Premier League again. It was a horrendous time.
Yeah.
I think, in fairness, we were relegated primarily because the NCU decided to restructure the league. We didn't
Well,
finish
was
bottom by
about-
any manner of means.
Right, okay.
But the warning signs were there. We didn't build on what that era. And what I see now is you building something, Neil, with the committee working hard background, and
Yeah.
this cup final will be the catalyst to create another 10 years of success. At least that's what I'm hoping and wishing for the club.
Yeah, it just shows you how quickly things can change then, and that's every club needs to be careful of that.
Well, we didn't have a really good second 11. We only had 2 teams, I think, in those days, maybe 3. So it wasn't fair. We have a good second 11 now. I mean, you could, if anybody drops out of your team at the moment, there's half a dozen boys there you could pick, and they won't let you down.
No.
And Premier, and we're talking about playing in Premier League. Well, that's very important. It's that's how you build a team and a structure.
Yeah.
And I think we've got that right. And yet we've got it right without gun hoes or big professionals or anything over the last few years. So that's pretty good.
Thanks. Sorry, Ivor, go
I
ahead.
was just going to say that theme of ups and downs, giving the book a little plug now, the centenary of the 150-year book. When you look at the history of the club and you study the book or read the book or researching the book, it's ups and downs. It's cycles of cricket and cycles of teams, and it's trying to anticipate when the cycle's going the wrong way and dealing with it. But just I'm plugging the book here. The book has been very well received. It's with 100 limited edition hardbacks, and most of those are either gone or been allocated.
Very good.
And we've now released a softback version of it. We have 150 of those. So hopefully over the month of August, when we have a cup final, we have a President's Day, we have a golf day, we have a gala dinner in September, the books will be available, and anyone who hasn't got one, get in quick because they won't be around by the end of September.
Yeah. No, the books are. I've read most of it. I've still a wee bit to go, but it's fascinating for someone like me that's 37 now. I've been at the club from I was 8 years of age, so almost 30 years, and I love the history of it. Just dating right back to how it started. It's incredible and it's very insightful. And then obviously just seeing that, as you say, predominantly the first 11 have been known in my time as a yo-yo club. So that's why we're wanting to build on the success hopefully of this year and solidify and make this a Premier League club, that's for years and years to come. And we know that youth and all the rest is a big part of that as well, and we're determined to make it right. That's just a picture there with Clarence Hiles and John Craig.
Do you want to talk about John and I'll do Clarence? John, do you want to talk about Yake?
John Craig is a fantastic cricket player, and he unfortunately left us at a very young age and joined the police and went on to have a very successful cricket career in the police. Not only did he play, but he played Ulster Town. He was a solid member of that whole operation. He was a great cricketer, good all-rounder, bat, ball, field, a good athlete, and brilliant cricketer. Big loss to the club.
Yeah.
And that seems to have been part of the problem. Not the problem, but what is talking about ups and downs. Over the years, we've had some teams that were almost there. We almost had a good team, and then suddenly somebody left to go to their job or go to the police or whatever it may be, and we got that sort of. My time playing, even the time after 1974 when we had that 15 years out of it, I played all those years in League One, and every 2 years, 3 years or something, we looked as though we were getting a good team together again, and then somebody was away. Clement was a great. Andy Clement, fantastic cricket player. Stephen Brown, another young
Weir was another one.
Campbell Weir,
Peter Bates.
Batesy, Peter Bates. All these boys came in, and what do you call that? Oh, the Stephen Brown, wasn't it? The fella from Temple Patrick went away. He was a wonderful cricket player. So we had a lot of very, very good players, but we never seemed to be able to get, a full 11 together without something happening. And the result of that is then you tend your result of your results, you don't have that consistency anymore. And but it's very interesting if you follow that through the years. There's been some absolutely fantastic cricket players here in the club. We've been very fortunate to have had them.
Yeah.
Even away back to the old days. The history of the in the book that Ivor's put together or helped to put together with Michael Nutt and those guys. The work those fellas did should be mentioned as
Absolutely.
well. I mean, it's incredible.
No, incredible.
Unbelievable.
Really,
2
really
years
good.
of hard slog to pull that whole thing together, the whole story and history of the club. And that will go on for you. They'll be selling those books in 20 years' time, when somebody else pops up here and we're long gone. And we have this book, the whole story of Muckamore, of the club. So it's a fantastic story, and it's people talk about what you want to do with in your life, and what is your legacy, and people write books and leave something, and other people make music, other people whatever, all the different things. The legacy for us, and certainly for me and for my generation, is what you see out there is Mylena. And there's so many people who are long gone, who have put their lives on hold on some occasions just to have that out there. And when you look at what's out there that has been achieved with no help from anybody, there was nobody helped this club. There was no big school. There was no benefactors. There was nothing. This was done by ordinary people like his father and my father and us now, our generation, and hopefully the other people will step in. We're both getting to the end of our trail, so it's other people have to step in now, and I worry about that a little bit. It seems now that everybody says to me, "We're so busy. We've got this and we've got that, and we can't. Everything's we can't, we can't, we can't." I'm sometimes thinking, what are you talking about? I don't buy into all that sort of thing. Do you really want to do it? Do you want Mylena to look like it is today in 20 years' time? Well, if you do, then you have to stand up, put your hand up and contribute to it, but not walk away from it, and not sit on the sideline. So many people sit on the sideline and don't take any responsibility, and that bothers me.
Yeah.
It seems to be a trend today. I mean, if I look around at the younger people, and I think Jonesy behind me here is the one young person in the last 5 years that have stepped up
That's right.
and taken on a responsibility. And he's done a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
So where's the next Jonesy coming from? We need those people, and we need them to come forward.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely
Probably
right.
takes me back to my opening comments about the need for volunteers, and
Mhm.
the book's littered with outstanding examples of people over the generations who helped contribute to get the club to where it is now. Just briefly, just the photograph there. I'd like to thank Clarence with a really hard core of hardworking people working the book, ably and brilliantly led by Michael Nutt.
Yeah.
But Clarence's advice and guidance was invaluable.
Yeah.
He's obviously in this game and he knows how to fine tune and how to promote
Yeah.
the book and put it all together. And Michael and Clarence, the two, had really got us to produce a book of the standard it
Yeah.
is.
No, absolutely. There's Glenn Morton just being presented by Simon Thompson, our cricket convener. Again, we've touched on Glenn Morton, the job. That was a big festival of cricket that Glenn had here, just at the end of the school term. They got a lovely day for it, and as I say, Glenn's enthusiasm's incredible. He loves it down here, so hopefully that partnership will continue for years to come. That was nice to give Glenn a copy of the book, Just on the 150th, there's obviously with our committee meeting the other night, there's a list. It's going to be a very busy couple of months. Everything, all the members will be notified, and our socials there'll be posters done by that man Jonesy there, as you mentioned. So there's a golf day on the 22nd of August.
22nd My President's Day is on the 11th. It's taking the form of a veterans match. There'll be a lot more information about that going out shortly.
Yeah.
The golf day is the 22nd. Again, as you referred to, Jonesy will be sending out data on that. And a big family fun day for everyone associated with the club. And
On my birthday, the 1st of September, Sunday, the 1st of September.
Sunday, the 1st of September.
Yeah.
What age is that?
What is 38? 38. I know you wouldn't think it. I'm looking well. Feeds well, like a fine wine, John.
Well, and then the gala
say
dinner.
that.
So there's a lot happening, but what I would love to see, Neil, maybe to sort of draw all this together, is that gala dinner, that huge Challenge Cup sitting in the top table.
Oh, listen, it's what I've dreamed about since I started playing cricket. I would always go and watch the Senior Cup finals, and it's just the showpiece day of the NCU. You know, it's like the FA Cup was years ago. It was a showpiece. Obviously, FA Cup sort of petered away a wee bit, but it's something as players you want to play in, and it's for the club to get there again. You know, you mentioned it. Is this the 5th one, John, that we've as a club we've got to? Is it?
Yeah, 5th one, and
They're a bit soft now, John, but when we played them, there was 2 days,
it was
60 overs.
It was two-day cricket, two innings, as you know. It was
No water stops.
I'd
Just
love
keep
that.
going.
I would love that. You see,
It was a big occasion, and then they turned it in the whole cricket world. You know, it was and it still is. You know, it's just because it's a one innings doesn't make it any less. But it's a great occasion, and unfortunately, I played in all 4 of them, and I played in the team that won the league. So I'm probably it was unique for some people have played. I think Jason has played in 7. Jason
Jason's played in
Vandenberg.
7 and won 5.
Yeah, fantastic. You know, what a record.
Incredible.
You know, it's unbelievable.
Incredible.
And there are people who have played all their lives and never got the opportunity to do it, you know. So it's a good day. It's a good fun.
Yeah.
Good day. Great occasion.
Hopefully we can get a massive support up from the club. I know there's a lot of people interested, and we'll get flags, and we'll everyone wear their Muckamore colours and get a good support up. I know Lisburn will be well supported, and as I say, we'll have a big party back in the club regardless of win or loss or whatever.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great occasion, you know. So fingers crossed.
From the supporters' point of view, just good luck.
Thank you.
Keep your head. Don't let it absorb you. It's just another game. If you keep that sort of attitude, you'll do well because you have a good team.
Yeah,
a fantastic team.
Yeah,
thank you.
I think I said to you a few weeks ago, believe there's a lot of ability in that team now. So good luck.
Whereas, thank you very much. That's us, boys. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.